We are back with our 29th episode, guys, of Archway Sports Talk with your hosts, Al and Stant Van Dan. We hope everyone had a great week enjoying this lovely sweltering heat here in St. Louis, Missouri. It has been literally brutal. So try and stay hydrated, and hopefully you have a chance to jump in a refreshing pool. We're going to start off this week's podcast with St. Louis City Soccer update, guys. It's been a while since they've been back on the field since the break. So far they've gotten off on the right foot.
I didn't know they were still playing.
Dan doesn't get into soccer much, so they did get back on the right foot starting off. They defeated the Colorado Rapids at home 1-0 on July 25th. And you ready for this, guys? It boosted them up to the 7th place in the Western Conference. Hallelujah. They actually moved up a spot.
Have a parade.
Well, good for them.
Close off Market Street.
Next, they will be at home against the Real Salt Lake. What kind of name is that? Real Salt Lake. Not even a name on it. I don't get that either.
I wonder if it's actually supposed to be Real.
Could be Real Salt Lake. That's better.
Because Real Salt Lake, as opposed to fake?
Yeah. I don't know. Could be Real, and I'm just pronouncing it wrong. I'm sorry about that. I don't know.
Well, you don't get into the French pronunciation.
No, I do. Not much. Nothing to the French.
That's why you struggle with hockey.
Yes, I do. I have to say I do. And on August 1st, and away against the San Jose Earthquakes on August 15th. The game winner against the Rapids was scored by Thomas Ostrak in the 83rd minute of the game. The win extended their unbeaten streak to 8 matches. It does look like the World Cup break is what St. Louis City Soccer needed to get back on the winning track. Next up, we're going to move on to What's Bugging Al segment, Dan.
Well, I guess we're going to find out.
Okay, guys. Well, what's bugging Al this week? It's, in reality, the Cardinals' inconsistent offense. It's what's bugging me this week. And I'm going to start off with Herrera. He is first on my list. Yes, he had a few hits against the Reds and finally hit a home run and a double. And I thought I was dreaming. I had to slap myself and see if I was awake or dreaming. Usually he has been grounding into double plays with runners in scoring position too many times, killing possible scoring chances that we have had. He's clearly needs some time off. He's played every game. The wear and tear of the game, along with the summer heat, can take a toll on you. Give him a break, Marmol. You hear me? Give him a break. More than one day. Not excusing, and I'm not excusing Jordan Walker either. But he has struggled at the plate also. And Dan and I talked about this before we started our podcast. I think it's maybe back to where his home run hitting contest, which was great to see. I know Dan isn't a fan of it, but it did bring a little life back into St. Louis and baseball. But it does, I think, affect your hitting. The launch angle and that slow pitch softball pitching.
I think it affected his swing.
I think so too. So he has struggled at the plate. Every time you look up, he has a 2-strike count. He is always behind, never ahead on the count. And when he gets a 2-strike count, he automatically calls timeout. It's a no-brainer. You can bet the clock on it. You can bet time on it. It just he'll step out automatically. He looks tired, and at times he looks like he's getting back into his old habits, as we just mentioned. Sometimes, guys, you just need a break to get your head and body back in the game. Alec Burleson has been the only consistent hitter in the Cardinals lineup. The Cardinals lineup is very inconsistent. One game, they score 7 runs. The next game, they get shut out. Whatever happened to moving the runners over with no outs? Guys, it's called giving yourself up to get the runner in scoring position. Or the lost art of bunting. I don't think that's even in their vocabulary anymore. Or hitting the ball. I don't even know. If you watch somebody trying to bunt, it's crazy. It's just a lost art, in my opinion. And then move it, and then hitting the ball in the air with a runner at third base and less than 2 outs. Get that run home. Give yourself up. Just make contact. I know it's easier said than done. But you're up there for a reason. You guys are making millions of dollars. And yes, pitchers do make good pitches. I'm not going to deny that. But when you have trouble scoring runs, you have to find a way to manufacture runs. Yes, it's called old school baseball. Not about launch angles, guys. Not about the launch angles. Yes, good pitching is going to beat you at times. But this Cardinal lineup chases way too many balls out of the lineup, out of the strike zone. I'm sorry. It leaves too many runners stranded. This team has to be more disciplined at the plate and make opposing pitchers actually work for every out. Talent isn't the problem. Consistency is. Bring back old school baseball in St. Louis. We call it Whitey ball. And of today, I'm also going to call that Tony La Russa ball, Dan.
Why is that, Al?
Because I heard a little stint on 101 today on their sports show. He said everybody's trying to hit home runs, Dan. Even little guys think they can hit it out every ballpark. And
I've been saying that for the longest time. Everybody, because they think home runs is how you get paid. Show that you're a vital part of the
sure,
team, and that you can get on base, that you can move runners around. That's going to get you paid.
It gets move that runner over, hit that ball to second base on the ground from second to third, and get that runner over. I'm just sick and tired of these guys going up there trying to hit home runs, and hopefully they get lucky. They'll hit one out. That's exciting. Yes, it is. I don't mind the home run ball, but when you're down a run, down 2 runs, in your 7th, 8th inning, for the love of gosh, and move them over. That's all I'm saying. And it's just a lost art. And I don't want to dwell on it much longer because it just makes me mad. And you can see it every day in the Cardinal lineup. Just put the ball in play, guys. Things will happen. And then that home run will come. Dan, what do you got next? We got a new logo. Oh, we got the Cardinal logo on Cardinal's Corner. I really like that, Dan.
Nobody else sees that. But
I know, but I see it. I like it. It's something new Dan added to our podcast pre-warm-up game notes here. What you got for Cardinals Corner, Dan?
Well, first, I'm going to start off by saying congratulations to Atlanta Braves outfielder Andre Jones, San Francisco Giants, and many other teams, Dodgers, Blue Jays, numerous teams. Second baseman Jeff Kent, and former St. Louis Cardinal outfielder and Royal and Astro and Carlos Beltran for being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And lest I forget, St. Louis' very own Joe Buck.
Good job, Joe.
So let's kick this off. On Monday, the Cardinals continued their road trip as they visited the Halos in SoCal for a 3-game set. Pitcher Kyle Leahy took the mound and had yet another good outing, going 6 innings pitched and throwing 95 pitches. Leahy offered up only 3 hits, 1 earned run while striking out 4. With St. Louis leading 2-1 going to the bottom of the 9th, Redbirds brought in their closer, Riley O'Brien, to shut it down. O'Brien had other ideas, as he gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, earned runs, a walk, and struck out 1 over a third of an inning pitch and 21 pitches. Ouch.
Not good. Not good.
The Cardinals dropped another game that they were winning by the score of 3-2. Jordan Walker doubled and scored on outfielder Nathan Church's single to deep right field. Third baseman Blaze Jordan grounded out to his third base counterpart, scoring outfielder Lars Newton. Well, on Tuesday, the 21st, the Cardinals sent out starting pitcher Hugh Liberatore to take on the Angels in the second game. Liberatore went back to his previous ways of showing that he is not a starting pitcher. 95 pitches, Al, in 5 1/3 innings pitched.
It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Keep going back to that 5 innings, Dan. I think his pitcher's right under Dustin May, inconsistent.
Yeah.
I don't know what is it with this year. He was given that starting opportunity.
Well, he's not a starting pitcher.
No, but he had, he's got good stuff. Usually 2, 3, or 4, and that's it. He looked good relief role. Please put him in relief pitcher role again.
Well, he gave up 9 hits.
Wow.
5 earned runs, and had a +5 strikeout to walk ratio. The offense didn't show up either, with the exception of first baseman Alec Wilson's 3 for 4 day. Cardinals seem to have gone back to their striking out ways, came 11 times.
Wow, 11 times. But Dan, on another note, I like seeing Alec Burleson back up there. Every time you see it, his name's up there with a hit, 2-hit, 3-hit day.
He's streaky.
He is streaky, but
he's gonna
he gets on a roll.
He's going to go a week and a half, maybe 2, where he's hotter than firecracker, and then next thing you know, he's as cold as it gets. So he's streaky. I think you'll look at the end, he's probably going to have 20, 25 home runs and 100 RBIs.
Not too bad.
Would you take that?
Yeah, and he's batting .290. So, I mean,
okay,
I'll take that every day.
I'll take that. I'm not going to take that for a large salary. I'm not going to pay him a lot for that because I think you can get that with anything. Which we'll be talking about this a little bit later on.
Yes, we will.
On Wednesday was getaway day, and the bats were silent on both sides. Starting pitcher Hunter Dobbins got the ball and gave the Birds 6 innings and 86 pitches of shutout ball.
Well done, Hunter. Good job.
6 hits with 5 Ks. It was a nail biter until the bitter end. St. Louis won 1-0, even though closer Riley O'Brien thought he'd make it interesting in the 9th, earning his 26th save. The Cardinals managed only 3 hits, 3 base on balls while scoring that one run came off the bat of second baseman J.J. Weatherholt's 15th home run. Oh, did I mention they struck out 10 times?
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Dan, on this Riley O'Brien, I'm not really knocking the guy. He's second in the league in saves, and he has pitched out every day. It seems like every day he goes out there, and you're going to have some hiccups now and then, but he has struggled lately. If you look back last
a lot of pitches. And again, it comes down to this swing and miss mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Throw as hard as you can for as long as you can. I know I've been beating this drum into the ground, but you lose control the harder you throw. And look at Greg Maddux. Look at Tom Glavine. Those 2 guys, they had no problem striking out batters. But they also didn't have the greatest velocity.
No.
They knew how to pitch. And that's what you need, are guys who know how to pitch. We're going to talk about somebody that you and I both like. He just recently had a bad outing. And when I say a bad outing, a really bad outing.
It was rough.
And we'll talk about that next week.
Right.
But on Thursday, the 23rd, the Cardinals played a rain-out makeup game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. The game started well, but was over in the 5th inning and ended 10-6. Starting pitcher Michael McGreevy threw 95 pitches over 6 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 7 hits and 4 runs. The bullpen wasn't any better, as they combined for 9 hits and 6 runs. Offensively, outfielder Jordan Walker and DH Alec Burleson provided doubles. And outfielder Lars Nootbaar had 3 RBIs.
Newt.
They were able to.
You may not be hearing that. We might not be hearing that in the near future. So.
On Friday, the Cardinals welcomed in the Cincinnati Reds to St. Louis for a 3-game series. The Birds sent Dustin May to the mound to write the course of this team and himself. May looked good through the first 4 innings. Then in the 5th, he reverted back to his previous ways. That included a 27 pitch. Oh,
What is up with the fifth inning? Is it a curse?
well,
Is it the curse of the fifth inning? What is this?
No, they go so hard that by the fifth inning, they don't have anything left in the tank.
Nope.
And it used to be, even if you had high octane, you didn't throw it every pitch.
No.
May ended up throwing 89 pitches over 6 innings, giving up 7 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, while striking out 8. Can't muster more than 2 hits, 3 base on balls. How do you expect to score more than 2 runs?
I don't know, Dan. How do you?
The answer is you can't.
Nope.
And that's exactly what happened. As the Cardinals lost 4-2. On Saturday the 25th, it was death by 1,000 paper cuts. As the Cardinals peppered the Reds with 10 hits on their way to a 7-0 win. Andre Palante bounced back from an ordinary previous start, limiting the Reds to 2 hits, 0 runs, 1 base on ball, while recording 8 Ks. This was not only the best starting performance this season by a Cardinals player, but the best by anyone in the rotation. Offensively, the Birds played good old-fashioned whitey ball as Al, where there was only 2 doubles hit, 1 each by outfielder Jordan Walker, catcher
Herrera.
or as Al likes to call him. So let me, for those of you who may not understand the term whitey, for that is a term that came up in the 80s when Whitey Herzog was the manager of the Cardinals, and the style of play that they used. They had all these fast switch hitting hitters who didn't hit for power, but they could get on base and they could steal bases and they could run and take the extra base when needed. So they called that whitey ball. And so if you hear us say whitey ball, that's what that references.
That's what we're that's what it references to.
You're not getting any extra base hits. You're just playing a little Punch and Judy baseball.
Manufacturing runs, guys. Manufacturing runs.
Sunday was a brutal day on many levels, with the heat and humidity being unbearable. Starter Kyle Leahy hung tough and gave the Birds 102 pitches, 6 innings pitched.
Not bad.
You notice I'm not calling him 5 innings.
No, you're not. I'm proud of you, man. Not calling 5 inning Leahy this time. Good job.
He gave up 6 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 9 Ks. All in all, I think that's more than acceptable.
Sure. That was one of his
in
best.
Those weather conditions. Oh.
And on the field, it's got to be, what, 5 or 10 degrees?
120 degrees on the field, he said.
Wow. 120.
The heat and humidity caused them to use 5 bullpen arms to cover 4 innings. Yikes. Relief pitcher Matt Swanson, Al's favorite pitcher, struggled with a third of an inning pitch, surrendering 2 hits and 2 runs. Offensively, the Cardinals got a double from first baseman Alan Burleson, who's 26, and a home run from DH Ivan Herrera, who's 12. The Cardinals are 53 and 52 in 4th place in the National League Central, and a game and a half back in the wild card. Al, any thoughts on the Cardinals' 1-game series against Arizona and the 2 3-game series against Cincinnati and Los Angeles
Anaheim Angels? Well, Dan, I do have a few here. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that, sir.
I'm just glad to be a big part of your small world.
Thanks, Dan. Here are a few thoughts on the All. First of all, here's a few thoughts on the All-Star inductees. Angel series, Diamondbacks, and the makeup game against the Diamondbacks and the Red Series. Congratulations, first of all, to Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent, and Carlos Beltran being inducted into MLB's Hall of Fame. I grew up watching most of them guys play ball. They all they're all deserving. They played the game the right way, guys. But we also can't forget Joe Buck, the son of the late, great Jack Buck, followed his dad's footsteps and inducted into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Way to go, Joe. And I'm going to say this. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. And that his dad would have called that. What do you think, Dan? What a great saying. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
A lot of great calls.
That was just one of many.
Yeah.
One of many. I believe that was a playoff game against LA.
It was.
And Ozzie Smith hit the home run.
Smith hit a game-winning home run.
Yes, he did. His first of the year, I think, or
from the left
side. That's what made it amazing. That call will stand in history forever in my mind. So we're also going to go next. We're going to move on from that, guys, and I'm going to go to the Angel series. Once again, like Dan had said, Leahy pitched well enough to win, but the bullpen blew a tire, and Riley O'Brien could not shut the door. Second game, Liberatore went back to old ways, as Dan did say earlier. Can anyone say bullpen? Please say bullpen for Liberatore, Dan. He just
bullpen for Liberatore.
Thanks for saying that. I needed to hear that. I needed somebody to say that. And then, so third game, pleasant surprise. Hunter Dobbins, Dan, stepped up his game and pitched 6 shutout innings.
You don't know what you're going to get.
You don't. But he still is young.
I know what you're going to get with him right now.
What's that, Ann? What are we going to get from him?
A AAA game.
Oh, because he already got
sent down.
He got sent down already. Wow. And then O'Brien did make it exciting again, but he held on to win 1-0. And then makeup game against the Diamondbacks on Thursday. They came, they saw, they conquered. Enough said, guys. Cardinals didn't even show up.
Cardinals number.
Yeah, they do. They just
the Cardinals just can't do anything.
Nope, got nothing. The Cardinals' inconsistent pitching continues to plague this team. Finally, a division foe came to town, the Reds, for the weekend series. And Dustin May continues to pitch like he wants to stay on the Cardinals roster.
Nope, they're not going to be able to move him.
Nobody's going to want him now. I mean, he has not pitched well since the one hitter he threw.
Well, and let's talk about Dustin May for a second.
Yes.
Now, here's the thing.
What are your thoughts on
his
that?
His contract is up at the end of this year, with the exception of a mutual option by both May and the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And that would come out to like $20,000. So, what are the Cardinals' options? They could trade him if they think they're going to get the value that they think is enough for Dustin May. And if they don't, they can keep him. And they'll send him to the $20,000 because you'll need
20 million
next year.
20 million, right? Is it 20 million?
20 million.
20 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then you could try and trade him next year. The Cardinals really, with the exception of JoJo Romero, don't have anybody they have to really trade. Romero's got the only contract that expires at the end of the year, and he's hurt. So I don't even know if he comes back in the time frame that they say you come back for appendicitis, which is 6 to 8 weeks. That means he loses all of July and all of August, and comes back sometime in September, which is probably enough time to get his arm and his body back in shape for a playoff run if you're a contender.
Well, they'll probably send him down to AAA, right, to get his strength back and pitching.
I don't
think they're going to call him up right away. He's got to go back down and build up the strength again.
Well, that will be some other team's problem, you know. But so let's say they do trade Romero. What do you do next year about lefties in the bullpen? Well, you already brought up Liberatore, right?
Right.
May I throw out 2 other names?
You may.
Bryson Moss, who's down at AAA. I think he'd be a really good option for them in the bullpen.
You have brought him up, his name, a couple times, I remember.
I mean, you can get rid of brutal. And so there's two, right? You want to bring in a third one? I think you should. And this guy has a little bit of a quirky left-handed delivery.
Mm-hmm.
That's Cooper Yerby. Yerby, he's been hurt. He had Tommy John surgery. He's down in the minors. He's been bouncing around at different levels. Just getting his arm back into shape. He'll stay down there the rest of this year. But quite possibly he could be ready for next season, especially if there's that lockout. And everything I'm hearing now is not only is there going to be a lockout, but it could cause the start of the season to be delayed until May, first part of May, where they would play maybe 140 games.
They're talking about that. Yes, I heard that also. I heard that yesterday.
You know what? I think 162 is entirely too long. They start the season way too early, and they finish way too late. If they could bring that down to
22
around
games,
148 to 150 games, you know what? You don't need all this interleague. You know, I'd much rather see teams in my own division.
Right.
I remember when I was a kid, you went to the East. Well, you didn't have three divisions. You only had two. You had the East and the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you went. The Cardinals were always in the East, but you would go to the West twice a year for 3-game series. You'd play six games against each one of those teams in the West. And they would come to your park and play 6 games also.
Mm-hmm.
So I would much rather see something like that. I care less about
I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. Yeah, see, I don't agree with you on this, Dan. I like seeing the other teams. But, I mean, that's what we're here for, but opinions. But I think it's fun seeing guys from the other league play. I mean, I know the Angels ain't a great team, but they're kind of a neat team to watch. And just there's other Kansas City Royals, your neighbor, down the road. The I-70 series is fun to watch.
Yeah, you know what? It's really not. It's not really a rivalry. It's more of a rivalry for the Royals. They get all hyped up on playing the Cardinals because it's like their World Series. It's like their 1985 all over.
Right. You're right about that, my man. You're all right. Well, we're gonna talk more about the contracts later in our segment, I think. Depends on what we have on time, guys. Moving on. Like I said earlier, Dustin May continues to pitch like he wants to stay in the Cardinals uniforms, which may or may not be a bad idea. His picture is in the dictionary, though, right now, under the word inconsistent. Second game, the Cardinals' bats and pitching came together as one. They shut out the Reds 7-0. The final game of the series, Leahy once again pitched well enough to win and stood tall on this blistering hot day. But Mr. Swanson came in and showed he does not belong in the show again. How many times are they going to give this guy a chance? How many chances?
I don't know. He looked so good last year.
Yep.
And he's just a 180 of what he was last year.
What happened to him, Dan? I mean, last year, I counted on being as one of our closers, splitting it with O'Brien. He's got the stuff, but I just don't think he has his location. His mind's not in it. He throws in the high 90s. His ball moves, but I think it's in his head.
I'm so sick and tired.
4 times he's been up and down.
All this velocity stuff. There's more to pitching than just being able to throw hard.
But sometimes you do need that strikeout.
That's fine. And if you've got that, you keep that in your back pocket for when you need it. You don't have to throw it every pitch.
Right. Well, you know who knows how to pitch? I'm taking this not out of context, but Aroldis Chapman of the Red Sox. Guy's 40 years old. Throwing mid-90s, but he's got a breaking ball at times, and he is pitching still well.
Have more than just a fastball.
Right.
Fastballs get timed.
Yes, it does. But like I said, he does have other pitchers. But he's got movement on his pitches. He does have more than one pitch. But anyway, it's just unbelievable. He's still pitching. Good job, Aroldis. What do we got here, Dan? And I think we're going to move on to St. Louis.
Down on the farm.
We're going to start off with AAA Memphis. Dan, what do you got for us?
Well, the Redbirds are 52-35 in first place in the International West. The Redbirds went 3-3 against the Durham Bulls in the Rays organization. You know, you hit the bull.
You get a steak. You win a steak.
Redbird starting pitchers didn't do very well this week, with the exception of Quinn Matthews. He was the only one who had a good week. He threw 93 pitches over 7 innings, giving up 3 hits and 3 walks while striking out 10. You know what? Okay. You keep doing stuff like that, Matthews. I see you. We'll start talking about a spot in the rotation next year.
Yep.
You know, mind you, I know what everybody's thinking. I hear all the talking heads saying, "Oh, time to bring Quinn Matthews up." He's not on the 40-man roster. So in order to bring him up, you got to take somebody off.
Mm-hmm.
They have to pass through waivers. It's not happening. And why would you do that right before a lockout? Now he can't get any instruction, any treatment, use the organization's facilities. He's got to do it all on his own. You're just going to retard his development.
So you're saying better off just leave him, stay down there?
It's just better off to leave him where he is.
And he's been very inconsistent. That's why he hasn't been up sooner. Let's face it.
Well, yeah. It has been since he's been pitching better for the last month.
Right. He's 25 now. I think he's like 25 years old.
Yeah, but he was never viewed as anything more than a back of the rotation starter. As fast as what he moved through the organization, he still was only looked at as a back of the rotation starter.
Yeah, you're right.
And, you know, he's going to have to compete with Roby also, who's coming off of Tommy John.
Mm-hmm.
He should be starting a throwing program and be ready to start throwing next year. Now, with Takoa Roby he is on the 40. And so he can't get instruction, he can't get treatment, he can't use the facilities. And that's why it was so important to me to not bring Weatherholt up this year, to leave him down and just let him be down there so he could get that extra time down there.
Right.
He could get instruction in the off season. He could get any treatment and use the facilities as needed.
Sorry.
Matthews really improved his status in the organization, and with the improvements he's made, he might be positioning himself for a spot in the rotation in St. Louis next year. Let's go to Double-A Springfield, Al.
Double-A.
Where the Cardinals are 48-47, third place in the Texas North. They played against, they went 4-2 against Northwest Arkansas Naturals, part of the Royals organization.
Like the name. I actually like the name. Not bad.
It's a little league name.
It is.
You know,
it's a softball name, actually.
Why not just call the Royale?
Yeah.
Although the Cardinals had a good week, started pitching, only accounted for half of their wins. See, that just can't happen.
No.
6 games, and your starting pitchers only account for half of your wins? Or even decisions?
Right.
They're still throwing a lot of pitches and barely making it to the 6th inning. Offensively, the Cardinals are having the opposite effect of the pitching. Position players all had a good week. Third baseman, Trey Page, had a big week, hitting .533 with 2 doubles and a home run. Outfielder Zach Levinson also had a big week, hitting .471, 3 home runs. Al, he hit those 3 home runs in one game.
Wow, not too bad.
So, yes, impressive.
Very impressive. That's Double-A, right?
But, yeah,
but
when you look at it overall on the week, it loses a little bit.
It's shine
to it.
I got you.
So now we're going to go back up north to Peoria, High A, where the Chiefs are 45-50. They're in 5th place in the Midwest League. Chiefs went 4-2 against West Virginia. West Virginia Whitecaps, part of the Tigers organization. The Chiefs had a good week, but none of the starting pitchers did well. Offensively, first baseman Jack Jurovich had a big week, hitting .435, 2 doubles. Get this, 5 home runs.
You know, you've talked about him a little bit.
I bring him up.
That name is very familiar, and you've talked about him a few times. I know that.
Outfielder Ty Pete, who we got in trade for Brendan Donovan.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he came from Tampa Bay or he came from Seattle, I don't remember which organization.
Mm-hmm.
Also had a strong week. He hit .391 with a double, a triple, 4 home runs.
It's a good week. Good week.
He's been hurt most of the season. That's why we haven't seen or heard much about him this year. He's still a ways away.
I got you. What do you got last, Dan?
We're going to go down south. We're going to head to Florida. You want to go to Florida?
I love to go to Florida.
All right, well, let's go to Palm Beach, where the single A team, Cardinals, 49-46. They're still in first place in the Florida State League East. Cardinals went 3-3 against the Tampa. Are they the Tarpons?
They are the Tarpons, Dan.
Okay,
we'll leave it at that.
They're not something else?
No, we'll leave it at the Tarpons. It's a family show, Dan.
It's part of the Yankees organization.
Yes.
You're wrong. You're just a bloody mess.
Wow. Moving on.
Starting pitcher, Brian Holiday had the best week of any of the starters, throwing 72 pitches in 5 1/3.
Is he another son of Matt Holiday?
No. Doc Holiday.
Doc Holiday. That's a blast in the past.
And his mom is happy.
Happy?
Happy.
Happy Holiday? Wow. It's getting thin, guys. It's getting deep, actually.
Offensively, outfielder Yordan Pena had a big week, hitting .444 with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. So now it's time for I'm Special. So special. I got to have some of your attention. Give it to me.
And this week's special feature is Dan Statman. Dan the Statman is going to be talking about it this week. So, Dan, what you got for our special feature this week, sir?
Well, a couple episodes ago, Al and I had a talk about the state of Cardinals pitching to spark some questions about the player dynamics from loyal listener Michelle.
Thank you,
in
Michelle.
Our comment sections, yes. First of all, thank you, Michelle, for your questions and comments. Al and I have both played and coached the game for most of our lives. I was a catcher for many years, so I feel I have a pretty good idea of what is being asked, and we will do our best to answer these questions. And hopefully it'll give you some insight on it.
And I actually played second base a lot, and I pitched once in a while. But fun times, good times, brings back a lot of good memories. I wouldn't change a thing, man. I had fun back in the day. How about you? Dan told me about his catching days. A lot of fun.
My knees don't love it anymore.
No, it's a tough position, man. Tough position.
Very tough. Yeah,
we'll leave it at that. Yeah. Dan, what you got on this catcher, on this question she asked?
Listener Michelle asked, where does the catcher come into the equation? Now, I'm assuming what she means by this question is what part does the catcher play in the overall calling of games and what the pitcher is doing out there? Because we were talking about the state of the pitchers and how poorly they're throwing and lack of innings. So to answer that, Michelle, the catcher is the quote unquote coach on the field. And everything is run through him from the coaching staff. The catcher is the only player that has every play situation in front of him.
And Dan, like Michelle, like you were saying, I look at it this way. I look at him as like the quarterback, in football. He calls the plays, changes the offense, changes the line, or actually the center changes the line, but he makes the calls, makes adjustments, what he sees in front of him. Exactly. And that's kind of like what the catcher does, Michelle.
Yeah. He sets up the defense based on how they plan to pitch each hitter. He also directs where the ball should be thrown and if it should be cut off by another player. And what I mean by that is where the ball should be thrown. Once the ball is hit and put in play, if there are runners on base, he is directing where that ball is going. Should it just be cut off? What base should it go to? Should, if the play looks like it's going to be coming home, does the secondary cutoff take that throw to keep the other base runners from moving up? So the next question is, don't the catchers call pitches?
They used to, most of the time.
Well, they still do. It's done a little differently thanks to Carlos Beltran and his banging on trash cans in the playoffs. Now they have, what do they call that, pitch cast or something like that, where they electronically send the pitches to the
number
pitcher.
To the pitcher, yeah.
Back in the day when I used to catch, we put down a certain finger, and that was either an indicator or it was the pitch that we wanted. Many times it meant so many different things, especially when you had runners on base. You didn't want them stealing your sign. So, yes, they do call pitches. So, like I said, calls pitches to be thrown unless coaches decide otherwise. Sometimes a coach will say, hey, no, I want this to happen instead of that. And he'll call out to the catcher and give him a sign.
Give him a sign from the bench. Yep.
And the catcher then will relay it to the pitcher.
If you notice, though, a lot of times catchers will look over to the bench after each play.
Yeah.
After each call, they'll look over and, if there's any changes, they'll relay.
But much of this is discussed in pregame meetings on how they will approach each batter based on the pitcher's strengths, weaknesses, and each hitter's strengths and weaknesses. This is only a baseline for ideal situations, obviously. If pitcher and fielder execution falters, then so must the catcher on how he calls the game. He has to be able to make adjustments as the game is playing out. Next, aren't they the ones reading the defense? The short answer is yes.
Yes.
As the game and situations develop, it is the catcher's responsibility to make in-game adjustments. When I was catching, I was setting up defenses. I was instructing, hey, you have a runner on this base, throw is to this base, just all that stuff. Yeah. He is reading the defense. He is also, if he's good, he knows what those hitters' strengths are. And so he's making adjustments on how to pitch this hitter.
Right.
And then setting up the defense.
Well, that's all. It should be in pregame. That's what they taught in pregame.
Well,
what does he do in this count? What does he like to go after in this count? Does he like the high fastball away or inside, or he chases this pitch?
It's also based on situation.
On the situation, yeah. Everything's a different. Everything's a different situation. So,
so next is it the pitcher's fault if the defense plays poorly? The answer is no. The pitcher is not responsible for any misplayed balls or throwing it. He's really only responsible for executing pitches called for by the catcher and backing up certain bases as required. It creates a greater burden on the pitcher when errors are made because he now has to throw extra pitches. This causes more exertion on the pitcher, making him tire faster. By the same token, not any of the fielder's responsibilities for bad execution of pitches. So if the pitcher's going up there and he's throwing it down the middle of the plate and the hitters are hitting the ball in the gaps or over the fence, it's not their fault for that. They can only
it's
do what they can do.
Right, execution also.
So Michelle, we hope we were able to answer your questions and clear up any on-field relationship questions you may have. So now we're going to move on to something else, since we are on the brink of the trade deadline now. And I thought we could talk about what players at the MLB or AAA level that could be traded by the third. My thoughts are make everybody available except for and possibly Walker.
Right.
I don't see the Cardinals moving or even being able to move anyone on the Major League roster because they've been playing so poorly. I just don't know that.
Does any team want them? Does anybody want
to make any of these players? Right. And if they do, are you going to get the value you think you're going to get? I personally think the Cardinals overvalue their players. They think way highly of them, more so than any other team does, and that's why they don't get the value that they tell us they're looking to get.
But then again, they'll go to another team and they're great. I guess it's all a guessing game. You don't know. We don't have crystal balls.
I will say this, though, Al. I think they should try and move on from at least one catcher, whether it be Herrera or Páez. And yeah, I did not say Crooks, and that's for a good reason. He's got more right-handed pitchers and he's a left-handed pitcher. But if you were to move, let's say you move both of them, what do you do? Well, you bring up Bernal.
You bring a Bernal. You bring him.
Bernal's a switch hitter who's hitting the you-know-what out of the ball down to AAA.
Right.
And he's on the 40-man roster, so
you could bring him.
You could bring him up.
And we got a plethora of catching talent in this organization. Plethora. I even said that correctly.
Can you spell that word?
I am not spelling that word
at this time. If you can't spell it, you can't say it.
Many catchers down in the minors. How about that? We'll make it simple. We have many catching talents down in the minor league.
As something I thought was just interesting, I pulled up the Cardinals roster and what these players are making and what they'll make going forward. And, really, there's nobody on this roster that's making that kind of money right now. And next year, the only one that would be making any kind of real money, and it's all real money, but I mean big money,
right,
is Dustin May, and that's if he's still with the Cardinals. And he, if the option is exercised by both he and the Cardinals,
right,
and he'll make $20 million.
Right. So other than that, the salary is there. They got plenty of room in the cap to improve.
Yeah, but what kind of money are they bringing in? Right. The TV deal, I don't know what they're getting off TV because I feel that contract's just all jacked up.
And if you've been watching any of the games lately, guys,
there's nobody there.
It's like watching the Marlins game. I mean, there was maybe 5,000 people at the game the other day. Whether it was a rainout game, or a makeup game, they're giving away tickets. Find out they're giving free tickets to the tarps off guys just to show up and take their shirts off. They're getting free tickets there. Their ticket sales have gone way down. And it's terrible. I mean, I used to go to games on Tuesday night, guys. 40,000 people at the game. 40,000. It's a far cry from that. It's getting ridiculous. I know it's rebuilding. Maybe. And then I know it's rebuilding. I don't mean to get off topic, but it's been a crazy year. They teased us what a good first half. Down the stretch, they're losing it. I don't know how many changes they're going to need to make, but I just don't think they're still a last place team. And a surprising team is the Pirates. They're a surprise. And the Cubbies are tearing the ball off the cover. They look like they know what's coming on every pitch against the Cardinals anyway. So I don't know. I'm just getting a little frustrated. Like I said, it is rebuilding. I just have to bite my tongue sometimes. And I know how Dan feels about it. He is building for the future, and I get it. But I still like watching good baseball. And there's time to teach that, and it does start in the minor leagues. So let's make some changes.
But so with that being said, after the season, the Cardinals really only have one free agent. And that's Jojo Romero. Okay.
Right. And he's making $4 million now.
He's making just under $4.3 million. So that'll come off the books. Now there's $0.3 million you got,
Right.
But let's say you've got three guys: Dustin May at $20 million, Ryan Stanek at $6 million, and remember this guy,
Urias, Ramon,
$4 million.
Ramon Urias.
Let's say you don't bring any of those guys back. That's $30 million you're chopping off of an already pedestrian salary.
Well, there'll be some free agents out there that we may be able to grab to help this team.
We don't know what's going to happen because of the CBA.
The CBA, yeah, and the trade deadline's next week. This all could change, guys. And we
were looking at this, and I was telling Al when we were talking about Alec Burleson, how we've been hearing where somebody was saying, "Oh, offer him $40 million over 4 years," and I'm like, well, why would you do that? He's 28 years old. By the time this contract is up, he's going to be 30 years old.
Right.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why would you extend him out? I don't see why. You can put anybody at first base. And
you always say that's an easy position, Dan. I don't think it's an easy position, my friend.
I think it is.
No, you're trying to catch a ball here, there. Have you seen Burleson play first base, stretching, reaching out? It's not
and
that.
He wasn't a first base.
I forgot what movie it is, and they asked him. Yes, it is a very hard position.
Well,
I think it was Moneyball.
Moneyball.
It is a very hard position. I'm sorry.
I just think if you could put Hank Aaron at first base at the end of his career, you can put him in.
I got you.
Look, you don't have to put just anybody.
Right.
The Cardinals down in the minor leagues, and this includes Jimmy Crooks, Leonardo Bernal, and Rodriguez. Renio Rodriguez.
Right.
They would catch, and when they weren't catching, they would either DH or play first base. And that's what I think they should do. I think they should put Rodriguez at first base, let Bernal catch, and you can have Crooks as the backup. And then you can switch them up in and out. Keep their legs fresh.
The days of having a guy play first base for 10 years are over, guys. It's all rotating. If you can catch, you can play to first base.
I think when you're in a market like St. Louis,
right,
the smart thing to do is to cycle these guys out once they get into the early 30s.
Right.
You're not extending these guys
No.
because they're going to want 4 or 5 years, and now that's taken them into their mid-30s, and we've seen what happens with Goldschmidt. We've seen what happens with Renato, and so many other players. They hit those mid-30s, and their production goes down.
Yep, I got it. Well, sorry, hey guys, this has been a long podcast that we extended, but we had some good questions from Michelle. We thank her for that. Dan did make some good points on salary. There is room there. And we're going to be losing that. There's going to be more room, Dan.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that more. And the deadline is approaching as of next Monday. We will see what the Cardinals are going to look like. So, from Dan and Al, we both want to thank you for watching Archway Sports Talk. We hope you enjoyed our show. And we want you guys all to stay safe and have a great week and a healthy week. Feel free to contact on our YouTube channel or our email address, guys, at ArchwaySportsTalk@gmail.com. Dan, any final thoughts on this podcast?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for listening. I will bring you all the news and any transactions that the Cardinals might be involved in by the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to thank once again subscriber Michelle for her questions. Really enjoyed those questions. Look forward to getting more questions from any and all listeners. I enjoyed it. I thought it was. I liked doing the whole segment. That was a lot of fun. And if anyone else has questions that you would like us to answer, please leave it in the comment section, especially all you ladies. You know who you are.
You know you are. Well, thanks, Dan, for finalizing our 29th episode. On that note, guys, we are out. Have a great week.